Hi, Mark Robertson back with you, talking about my book, Carrying Lawn Chairs, Youth Sports and Other Parental Mindsets. And we've been going over each chapter of the book. So you can get the book on Amazon, of course, electronic version, $2.99, the regular book version, just under $10. And you can do that or you can watch these videos. I cover each chapter, give a good synopsis of each chapter, the basic message of each chapter. And the first part of the book, we dealt with parents and youth sports and all the problems I have with it. And really, there aren't solutions to those problems. I just wouldn't put very young kids into organized youth sports. I wouldn't put anybody into youth sports, any child before age 10, maybe even 12. And I'm not totally against youth sports, but it's not a good situation, especially for very young people. I like sports. I'm a big sports fan, but it's crazy. This youth sports scene in this country these days is not a good situation. And who knows what the motives are. There's so many motives for so many parents, but it's kind of they're not in touch with reality. They don't know what they're really doing and what it's really all about. But anyway, the second part of my book, I deal with parents and other mindsets, not directly related to organized youth sports. We talk about a number of topics. Today's topic, the title of the chapter is Tear Down to Build Up. And yes, I've been tough on parents in this book, and this will continue. Not all parents are this way, and parents do it to different degrees, but some parents exaggerate in a negative way what their child is doing, and they criticize them and cut them down in hopes that this will cause the child to try harder and to be better at whatever activity they think it is, whether it is youth sports or if it's in school or whatever it is. And this attitude permeates youth sports. It's kind of like the Vince Lombardi attitude. You cut them down to build them up. Well, you know what? It may even work sometimes, but it's definitely not the way to go. It doesn't work, and in the long run, it's not a good situation for the kids. It makes them act out in ways that aren't healthy later down the road. And the parents, but they do this. They thinking they are being a good parent and they're doing what is good for their child in the most parts. Now, there are some exceptions. Sometimes they do this just for their gratification to make their kids better in sports or whatever, so they'll feel better about themselves. But what it really is, when parents do this, they're actually saying that they are inferior. So they don't think they could possibly have a child who wouldn't be inferior as well. So they have to cut them down to build them up because they were probably cut down to build up. And so that's the only thing they know. That's not a good situation. And cutting kids down in hopes that it will build them up, it doesn't work. They won't try harder. It just is a disaster. And sometimes they disguise criticism as well. This is disguised criticism, but they'll do it with comparisons. They'll say, well, little Johnny did good in baseball, or he got a good hit, or he kept his eye on the ball, or he fielded with two hands, or something like this. And I've even seen them do it with major leaguers that criticize a major leaguer, or they're really criticizing the child, and they want the child to hear that. And so it's all kind of manipulation going on. But if you have to manipulate a child to do something, that's not good right there in and of itself. Be honest with them. I mean, you can encourage a child, be positive. You can bring out the best in the child. Every child is a gift from God, and every child has their own genius. Not that it doesn't have to be developed, not that they don't have to try in school and various other things, but you got to keep them with their grain. Each child is different. They have different aptitudes, different abilities, different gifts from God, and push them in that direction. Tell them they can do it. Be positive with them and be straightforward. Kids see through lies eventually. They may not right at the beginning because they trust their parents. Their parents know what's good for them, and they want the love of their parents, so they're going to do what their parents want, but they will eventually see through the lying and the manipulation. Be positive with them. Stay positive with them. Uplift them and motivate them that way. Don't cut them down to try to make them do better. It doesn't work. Even if it did work, it's not the right way to go. Stay positive with your kids. They want the love of their parents. They listen to their parents and be encouraged. Bring out their best, and that's how you do it. You don't cut them down to build them up. You bring them out. You bring out the best in them and encourage them. And yes, even sometimes you may have to push them, tell them they can do better, but keep making sure they're on the right track. You can't make them do better in something that they're not good at or they don't want to be involved in, but something that they are built to do, they're designed to do. You can push them in that direction, and that's the way to go. It's the answer for their child. Like I've said before, young people are not small adults. They're young people. They shouldn't be treated like adults. They need to be encouraged. They need to be shown that they are a great human being just for breathing. I know some people disagree with that. They think that has to have accomplishments. Yes, accomplishments are great, and yes, accomplishments make you feel good about yourself, and giving a good effort in something, you can be proud of it. But children also need to know that they're just worthy just for being on this earth and breathing. They're true gifts from God. So that's it for today, and we thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.